Hey everyone, welcome to 59 Topps Friday, presented by Wax Pack Wisdom, where we talk baseball history through the cards we love. My name is Jake T. O'Donnell. We built the iconic 1959 Topps baseball set, and in this series we're going through every card to talk about the players, teams, and people who made up Major League Baseball in 1959. Today, we'll cover cards 537 to 543 in the set. Card number 537 belongs to Rodolfo Arias of the Chicago White Sox. 1959 was Arias' first and only year in the big leagues, and this is his rookie card. Arias grew up loving baseball in Cuba, where it was the national sport. He used a ball of tightly wound electrical tape as a makeshift baseball. He was reportedly so good that his friends wouldn't let him play unless he played first base instead of pitching. He was exclusively a relief pitcher for the White Sox, winning 2 games and also saving 2, with no losses in his 34 appearances. Although he was listed on the 1959 World Series roster for the White Sox, he did not play in the World Series that the White Sox would lose to the Dodgers in 6 games. Arias ended his big league career with a 4.09 ERA and 28 strikeouts. Over the course of his professional baseball career, Arias played in Mexico and Cuba in addition to his time in the U.S. spanning 23 years. Following baseball, Arias worked construction jobs, then as a security officer for a bank, where he remained until he retired. Arias is the father of Rudy Arias, a former minor league baseball player and longtime bullpen catcher for the Marlins, Yankees, and Orioles. Rodolfo Arias died in 2018 at the age of 86. Card number 538 belongs to Chick King of the Chicago Cubs. 1959 was King's 6th and final year in the big leagues. King was an outfielder who played for the Tigers, Cubs, and Cardinals. Charles Gilbert King obtained the nickname of Chick as a young boy, although the exact origins are unknown. King was the great-great-great-grandson of a Revolutionary War soldier, Martin Neese, who was from Pennsylvania. King showed promise as a young football star in high school and college. He also played basketball, baseball, and ran track in college. In 1951, he signed with the Tigers, playing in their farm system until making his major league debut in 1954 after 2 outfielders, Bill Tuttle and Al Kaline, were injured. King was traded to the Braves in 1957, where he played only in their minor league system for the year. Returning to the majors for the Cubs in 1958 for 8 games, he was then traded to the Cards for 1959, where he finished his big league career. King ended his career with a .237 batting average and 5 RBI. He continued to play minor league baseball until 1961. Following his baseball career, King owned the Metal Culvert Company and worked as a transportation engineer. He also coached baseball and softball teams in Tennessee. In 2010, his county mayor proclaimed November 10th Chick King Day, celebrating his 80th birthday with the Loyal Patriot Award. King died in 2012 at the age of 81. Card number 539 belongs to Gary Blaylock of the St. Louis Cardinals. 1959 was Blaylock's first and only year in the big leagues, and this is his rookie card. Blaylock was a right-handed pitcher who played for the Cardinals and Yankees. He signed with the Cardinals in 1950 and spent 9 seasons in the St. Louis farm system before making his major league debut in 1959. After 26 games with the Cards, he was claimed off waivers by the Yankees, where he finished his big league career. He finished with a 4-6 win-loss record, a 4.80 ERA, and 81 strikeouts. Following his major league playing career, Blaylock stayed close to the game of baseball. He again played in the minors before becoming a manager and instructor in the Yankees farm system in 1963. In the 1970s, he moved to the Royals organization, managing the Billings Mustangs, before going on to work as a scout instructor and then pitching coach for the major leagues. He was on the staff for the Royals' 1985 World Championship team. In 2010, Blaylock was inducted into the Dunklin County Hall of Honor in Kennett, Missouri. As of this recording, Blaylock is 93 years old, and he will turn 94 in October of 2025. Card number 540 belongs to Willie Miranda of the Baltimore Orioles. 1959 was his 9th and final major league season. Although he was not much of a hitter, the Cuban-born Miranda was a spectacular defensive shortstop, with Hall of Fame manager Tommy Lasorda saying Miranda was the best he ever saw at the position. He originally signed out of the Caribbean nation with Washington ahead of the 1948 season. While playing in the majors, Miranda played in the Cuban National League during the winters as well. He played 7 games with Washington in 1951 before he was traded to the White Sox. He spent 1952 and 1953 between the White Sox, Browns, and eventually the Yankees, as well as time in the minor leagues. In 1953, Miranda was on the Yankees World Series roster, but he did not play in their victory over the Dodgers. After spending 1954 again with the Bombers, Miranda was traded to Baltimore, where he'd play the rest of his career. His best season hitting there was 1955 when he batted .255. Otherwise, he never hit higher than .217 in a season in Baltimore. But he wowed folks with his defense. His manager, Paul Richards, later said, quote, "In the years we were trying to build a team in Baltimore, the fans didn't have much to entertain them. From 1955 to 1959, Miranda kept the interest alive. I always felt in some ways he helped save the franchise in those formative years." Close quote. Miranda was traded to the Dodgers for 1960 but never played for their MLB team. He finished his big league career with a .221 average in 824 games. He worked various jobs in Baltimore for the rest of his life, and he died there in 1996 at the age of 70. Card number 541 belongs to Bob Thurman of the Cincinnati Redlegs. 1959 was his 8th and final Major League season, which included 3 years in the Negro National League. While Thurman's listed year of birth on the back of his 1959 Topps and other baseball cards was 1923, he was actually born in 1917. He spent time in the Pacific Theater during World War II, and upon his return, he signed a contract to play for the Homestead Grays. He got the chance to play alongside Negro League legends like Josh Gibson, Buck Leonard, Cool Papa Bell, Ted Double Duty Radcliffe, and more. Over 3 seasons with the Grays, Thurman batted .329. He spent a couple months with Buck O'Neill's Kansas City Monarchs before his contract was purchased by the Yankees in 1949. Thurman only appeared in the minor leagues until he signed with the Reds ahead of the 1955 season. He was a backup outfielder and pinch hitter for most of his time with the Reds, hitting .295 in 1956 and hitting 16 homers in 1957. He was released in 1959 and spent time in the Senators organization in 1960 before retiring. Thurman hit .275 in 448 Major League games. Thurman worked as a scout for the Twins, Reds, and Royals after his playing career ended. He died in 1998 at the age of 81. Card number 542 belongs to Jim Perry of the Cleveland Indians. 1959 was his first Major League season, and this is his rookie card. There is no question that Perry's career has been overshadowed by that of his younger brother, Gaylord, the junk ball specialist who rode a 22-year MLB career to the Hall of Fame. But Jim Perry had an outstanding tenure in the majors of his own, a 17-year run that saw over 200 wins and some memorable hardware of his own. The Perry brothers were both born in Williamston, North Carolina, and Jim signed with Cleveland while he was in college. He made the Indians out of camp in 1959 and mostly pitched from the bullpen with a few starts mixed in, finishing the year with a 2.65 ERA in 44 games. That earned him a second-place finish for AL Rookie of the Year voting. After some off-season movement for the Tribe, Perry joined the starting rotation in 1960 and tied for the league lead in victories in 1965 with 18. The following year, Perry made the first of 3 career All-Star teams. In May of 1963, Perry was traded to the Twins, where he'd pitch through 1972. Perry was a valuable swing arm for the Twins club that made the World Series in 1965 with a 2.63 ERA on the year. Perry made 2 relief appearances in that year's World Series, but the Twins lost to the Dodgers. His ERA was consistently at or under 3 through the rest of the decade, but was never a mainstay in the Twins' rotation until 1969 when he won 20 games for the first time and finished 3rd in AL Cy Young voting. The following year was Perry's best, making 40 starts, finishing with a 24-12 win-loss record in just under 280 innings. He was voted the AL Cy Young Award winner that year. 2 years later, Gaylord won the award, and the Perrys remain the only brothers in MLB history to each win a Cy Young. Jim spent 1973 with Detroit, where he faced Gaylord in a game for the first time in their careers on July 3rd. Jim was then Gaylord's teammate in 1974 and 1975 with the Indians. Jim finished off his career with 15 appearances for the A's in 1975. In total, Perry won 215 MLB games and had a 3.45 ERA in 630 games. Perry worked as a scout for the A's and later worked for a long-distance telephone service in South Dakota. As of this recording, Jim Perry is 89 years old. He will turn 90 in October of 2025. Card number 543 is the next multiplayer card in the 1959 Topps set, Corsair Outfield Trio, featuring Pittsburgh Pirates stars Bob Skinner and Bill Verdon, as well as Hall of Fame legend Roberto Clemente. Here's what Topps had to say about the trio on the back of the card. If you want to start a riot in Pittsburgh, just tell a Pirate fan that you don't think his team has the best outfield in the league. He will promptly tell you, if there's enough left of you to talk to, that Bob Skinner was merely the 5th best batter in the senior circuit last season and had 70 RBIs. For speed in the outfield and on the base paths, there's no one who can keep pace with Roberto Clemente. He hit 10 triples, third highest in the league. Bill Verdon's 75 runs scored and 46 RBIs played a large part in the Pirates' spectacular 1958 success. All three players are wonderful team players, and each one is strong in the defensive departments as well as at bat. They can make the Pittsburgh dream of a pennant come true in '59. That's going to do it for this edition of 59 Tops Friday on Wax Pack Wisdom. Today's episode was written by Abby O'Donnell and Jake T. O'Donnell. Do you have a story about one of the people, players, or teams we discussed today? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear it. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our Wax Pack Wisdom content. In the video description, you will find our source material for this episode, links to where you can follow us on all social media channels, as well as a list of our favorite nonprofits and charities. Please consider a donation to one of them if you enjoyed this content. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on Wax Pack Wisdom. Take care.